Now, with President Trump's efforts to fund the wall having been blocked by Democrats in the House, a lot of his supporters have turned to crowdfunding, which is a fascinating way to go, as a wall is supposed to cost anywhere between 25 to 70 billion dollars. Now, there was a GoFundMe page, and it turned into a sensation on the right and raised about $20 million. Well, now that's a decent amount of money, right? Now, the thing about crowdfunding is that sometimes you get unscrupulous actors that are out there to try to steal your money. I mean, it's happened before. There are definitely plenty of stories out there where people, for example, tried to do something good, trying to raise money for a homeless person, and it turned out being a scam. And then now they're all getting in trouble, going to prison. And so, what about the wall? Now, obviously, funding for the wall is actually something bad, but is it a scam? Well, we're going to look into it. Now, this campaign was organized by triple amputee veteran Brian Kolfage. Now, this campaign turned into a nonprofit called We Build the Wall. So that was after GoFundMe said, okay, we're going to send that money back because this is a ridiculous campaign. Obviously, based on hatred, it breaks our terms of service. And so, okay, we're going to give that money back. Now, Kolfage says, okay, well, you know what? I'm just going to create a nonprofit organization, and then we're going to take donations anyway. Okay, now that donation is called We Build the Wall, as I said, and they promised to build portions of the wall on private land using the money that they raised. Okay, again, $20 million, decent amount of money, enough to live very well off for quite some time, but it's nowhere near necessary to build a wall with. As I mentioned, the wall would cost billions of dollars, and it wouldn't actually really be all that effective when you think about it, with only like, oh, we got a couple of sections built here on private land. Well, then what's the point? You can just go around it. So, okay, well, anyway, there's a lot of problems with this, it turns out. And some of them, many of them, actually stem from the fundraising. Now, so now his followers, or the donors, I should say, realize, hey, you know what? It turns out walls aren't cheap. And so when nothing got done, they started to get a little testy. Now, this is according to the Daily Beast, in a story written by Will Sommer, who said, quote, there is no evidence that any construction on the wall has even started, despite claims from Kolfage and his allies that construction would start in April. Now, it is past April, it is now May, and still we have no construction. Nobody building sections of the wall, even on private property. Now, that has donors like Joshua Green a little bit upset. Green wrote in an email to Wright Richter, this is where this originally, the story originally appeared, quote, the lack of updates is very concerning. I almost said that in a Darth Vader voice. I find the lack of updates disturbing. Okay, anyway, enough of that. Now, he's not the only GoFundMe donor that's curious about what happened to the money that they donated. Since We Build the Wall blew their April deadline, writes Sommer, Twitter replies to Kolfage and the group's Facebook page have filled up with very angry donors. Green also started tweeting his displeasure. One person who was not Green, Billy Costigan, says, why no updates on the status of the wall? I have a feeling that this is a scam. No kidding. You don't say. Seems a little scammy to me, but this is despite, of course, assurances that they were trying to build the wall. They're going to build the wall any minute now. Any minute now. Back in February, former Kansas Secretary of State Chris Kobach, who was a member of Rebuild the Wall's board of directors, by the way. So Chris Kobach, not a good guy, claimed that the group was getting ready to break ground probably in April. Kolfage himself went further, saying in a radio interview back in March that, quote, we're going to start breaking ground next month. The group had even promised to invite donors to a groundbreaking ceremony. Okay. So now, what's happened so far? Well, there's been no groundbreaking and certainly no ceremony. You can't have a groundbreaking ceremony if you haven't even attempted to break ground yet. It appears that this whole wall thing, not happening. Now, one angry Facebook comment, and they have a ton of them, reads, "Show me video of a wall being built, and I'll pony up my next donation." So now they're saying, hey, put up or shut up, right? Start building a wall, or else I'm not going to donate anymore. Well, I feel bad for you, but they already took your money. I hate to say it. They already took your money. You ain't getting it back. Where's the rest of my money going? Reads another. I have a guess. It's going right into somebody's pocket. I mean, again, I'm going from, or I should say, Colphage is going from what I'm assuming nothing, right, to an overnight millionaire. Now that is a heck of a temptation, and one that Colphage might not have been able to resist, given his history in running questionable GoFundMe campaigns. The Daily Beast notes that he was a prolific operator of hoax pages on Facebook, and money he raised in the past to help veterans programs and hospitals never actually went to those hospitals. Interesting. But even if he actually does intend to build the wall, it would turn out that that's actually a lot harder than you would think. Colphage and Rebuild the Wall's board of directors had apparently spent a lot of time in Arizona trying to scout private land to try to build sections of their wall onto. However, at least that's what they're saying, the Phoenix New-Times reported in March the vast majority of land on the border in the state is owned by the federal government, and people who own private land on the border told the New York Times that they had not been contacted by anyone from Rebuild the Wall. So there's not a lot of land for them to ask around. Well, then that would make it easier, right? Because you only have so much land that you have to ask people on. So you would be able to get around and ask people fairly quickly, hey, can we build on your land? Now, the fact that that hasn't happened, that people on the border are like, well, wait a minute. They want to build a wall, but nobody's contacted me about building a wall. That's very questionable. That said, in a Facebook comment just this week, the group claimed once again, we're about to build a wall, folks. We're going to be building. We're going to break ground any second now. But they could not give details on where that would be happening because they wanted to confound the libs. We can't tell you. We can't tell you where we're going to build it because then the ACLU is going to come out there and the libs, they're going to stop us. So we've got to be secret about it and build our wall in secret. Come on, man. Of course it has to be secret. Of course. Well played. Now, as for Green, he's a little bit tired of the lack of information. He said, quote, I knew Brian had some previous shady GoFundMe campaigns. I felt more confident when he brought on other big names to work with him. I haven't seen a tweet from any of them. Look, I hate to break it to you, Josh, but this isn't happening. Donald Trump's not building a wall. Neither is Brian Colphage. You got scammed, bro. Not only once, but you got scammed twice. That's gotta hurt. But hey, look, don't feel bad, right? Because a wall's not gonna fix the problem anyway, which I assume you would believe is the undocumented immigrants, right? Well, most undocumented immigrants actually fly in and just overstay their visas. And migrants, look, those migrants, for example, the people in the migrant caravan, right? That, Fox News people freak out about all the time. Well, they have a legal right to come in and cross the border into the United States so they can ask for asylum. They either have to be physically present in the United States or at a port of entry so they can legally claim asylum. And international law states that you can't actually block people from coming in to assert their right to claim asylum. So, hey, no physical barrier, right? Sad day for you guys. MAGA guys, you just can't bar people from coming in. We have these things called laws. But As far as the fundraiser is concerned, you know what they say. A fool and his money are easily parted. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.